Hey, yeah, everyone, I'll be videoing, so if there's anything that you might, blurt out in class, you don't want it to live forever, you might want to hold that back. But the reason I'm videoing is we've got a couple of people that can't be here. We've got one traveling with a sporting event, and actually we've got two traveling with a sporting event. And then we've got one that evidently has the fear of flooding around their house, so they're going to hang tight. I'm good with that. But there's a document going around. If you would please sign that. And for the folks watching on video, we've asked people to go to the right if you're a buyer, on the left if you're a seller. And where are you going to go? You're going to be a buyer. All right. So let's kind of split 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need a couple folks to come over here. 3 maybe. Be a seller. All right, so let's recount. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's perfect. We got an even match. So we're buyers and sellers. But truth is, in this role play, you're actually acting as almost a seller because you're representing someone. So the role play that we're going to be doing today is based off of a real estate deal with a university. And so this university is building a new stadium, and they need to acquire some land. And you're going to see, in the role play, the information that's yours. Now, there are several things that we need to make sure we review, and that is we did some reading, and I think there's this target, right? There's this target that we're trying to hit. What else were we planning for? Opening. And what else? The walk away. And just remember that if you can't make a deal that you plan for, then it's okay to walk away from the deal. And you also have to remember, though, that when you walk away from a deal, oh, she's late. Isn't there a penalty for being late? I think there is. I think, and for someone who's actually an accomplished singer, oh, she missed the first class day, so she didn't realize there are huge penalties for being late. So we're going to have to give her a bye this time. But that means that you're negotiating with me today because you're the odd person that showed up. So that's going to be lovely. Now, all right, have I busted your chops enough?
Yes, you have.
Okay. All right, let me shut this door real quick.
Caden Lyle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said he's trying to find a partner. He's struggling.
Yeah, that was my issue too.
Oh, tell him hurry up. You won't melt. No, that's okay. So, all right. So Kate's going to come on. We got to move on because it's a very, very busy day. So everyone read your material, the chapter 1 material on the negotiations. I practically, went through and said, hey, please make sure you read this. We were going to spend a lot of time, going through the negotiations material, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm just going to do some highlights. Okay, so I'm going to do some highlights because the learning is going to be in the exercise that you're doing. This is a negotiation will always seem like a competition, but you're here to make sure that you're doing right by your firm or either right by the people that you represent. And if you don't get a deal, then you do not have any revenue, right? So that's one of the lessons in a negotiation. If you can't make a deal, if you can't be successful in making a sale, then you really fail in your efforts. And also remember this, that a good negotiator is someone who really knows what they want in this deal, and they are smart enough and plan enough and are mature enough to handle the situation that they can go get it. And there are some differences between individuals who are skilled and unskilled in negotiations. And usually in that you can see it very, very quickly, because the person who is unskilled ultimately will probably not have a favorable outcome, or either will not make a deal at all. And negotiations are, a basic element to sales, especially this advanced sales, as we're moving in from, this elementary approach that you learned in the basic course. Now we're moving into corporate engagements where your responsibility is to make sure that you cut a deal for the organization. And you're out there on your own. And you have everything at your disposal that your management team has told you you have. And you need to focus on making sure that you look at your primary negotiables and get what your organization is looking for. That's basically what we're doing. So I'm gonna do just a brief overview here. You don't really have to take notes. We'll just take a look and listen. Number one is we're planning. So when you get your document, you want to make sure you plan. What do you think you should open with? Your position. What is your target? What would you really like to get out of this deal? And then what is your walk away, where you say, okay, this is bad for me, it's bad for the organization, we're just not going to be able to get a deal. And then remember your concessions, that when you're planning your concessions, well, what are they? And that's actually something that we do up here prior to building our opening, our target, and our walk away, because those options that we have available to us should be somewhere in our planning. And when you consider, what makes a trade, just remember this: in trades, what are you going to give, and what are you going to get? So that's very important to us. So what are you going to give? What are you going to get? And that'll be a pretty big message as we get through it, and we do our recap of this thing. And just remember that emotions are very expensive, right? Emotions are expensive. The use of tactics can be appropriate, but also can be dangerous. Just remember that. So we'll review that. And there's this thing called anticipation. Are you sizing up the other person and trying to figure out, what's going on in their world? Are you anticipating what you might hear? And so that anticipation is going to be really, I think, a light bulb that will go off for you. And then there's this thing called, desires and their needs. Those are two completely different things. The goal of the organization usually is to take care of the needs of the other party, and if you do satisfy a desire, that's fine. Just make sure you charge for it, right? So, for example, I'm looking at jackets. I won't call anybody out, but if you want a North Face jacket, the latest technology, then maybe you're willing to. Maybe you're a customer that's willing to pay $350 for a jacket. But do you really need that jacket? Well, if you're selling those jackets, you have some that desire the North Face jacket with the latest technology, and has a little warming thing in it, so you can warm your hands. But that's going to cost $350. Or I could get you a cheaper North Face or a cheaper Gore-Tex jacket for like $150 that would do what you're looking for. Just, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that the North Face has. It's still an adequate jacket for the weather. And just make sure that if you're selling this, that you're getting a price for that. And many organizations will teach their people, to take care of those needs and not sell the desires. Well, I say sell those desires, but just make sure you get the appropriate price for it. Because there's a lot of organizations that sell desires. and that's important. So that's a very brief overview of what you studied, and so we're gonna jump right into it. But we need to count off again. So we have 7, we have 8. We need one to come on up on this. So come on up if you don't mind. Come on up front. I apologize for the parking, and we know it's tough today, but we had to roll on because the time we have. And who was last?
In here?
Yeah, you're negotiating with me, I think. Whoever's last that gets that. So you got off the hook. All right, so buyers over here and sellers over here. I'm going to pass these out. Now here's some rules. We have some ground rules. No discussion. When you get your paper, the person that's sitting right next to you, don't let them see you write your notes. Don't let them see you or hear you talk out loud. We really want this experience to be you on your own right now with no other information. So don't share, don't look, don't point, don't do any of that, all right? So let's don't spoil the situation. And the other thing is work hard and try to make this thing happen. So when you're with the person you're going to be negotiating with, let's just make sure we're working hard to make something happen, okay? But no deal if it's outside of your rationale, your range of rationale for this thing, okay? And the other is once you're finished, once you get a deal, no talking. No sharing of papers. Okay? It's very important. So if y'all would, there's going to be a big temptation because you're going to, well, what were you going to do here? What were you going to do? Please don't do that. All right? So just when you finish, let's just be quiet. Pull out your phone and maybe look at something, and we're going to wait until the others finish. The role play itself we're going to do within 20 minutes. Right now it's 9:12. I'll give you this paper, and we're going to give you 10 minutes to prepare. That should be enough. So let's basically say at 9:25. We're going to start, and I'll start us, and then we're going to negotiate for approximately 20 minutes. And sometimes it will take about 20 minutes. If you're done before that time, that's great, but I wanted to give plenty of time for you to, make sure you get through the material and then you're good. So when you get your paper, you have 10 minutes. Just, prepare like mad. And ultimately, you want to prepare your open, your target, your walk away. No discussion, right? When you're done, just put your paper down, face down. Don't leave it up so anyone can see it. And the other thing is whatever's in the paper is, so what you have. And so just be open to that and use everything at your disposal. Okay? Y'all ready for that? All right. And before we get started, I'll take a question, and the other thing that I would say is, be sure, as anything in sales, is that you're managing your information as a salesperson. So, should be enough. Pass around. Should be 2 or 3. Don't y'all love this? That is fun. If you would please put your name on your paper.
This one doesn't have any writing.
Uh-oh. That's bad. How many are missing? Anybody else got blank sheets? Where, you got one? Oh, you got one. That is the buyer, right? If you have any questions, you can raise your hand, I'll come to you. While you're putting it. Call me over. Is there anyone who's not put your name on this? Anyone who's not put your name on? Good. Bless you. We got about 3 more minutes. Okay, we got about another minute. We'll get ready. Okay, at this point, we should be putting our open, our target, and our walk away. So please make sure you write that down on your paper. Don't let your peers see it. But this needs to be on there because I'm gonna ask you for this at the end of the role play, okay? And when you get finished, you'll want to write where you fell in your range, or if you made that at all. You know, so we're gonna document that information, okay? So for this side, I tell you what, for this side here, why don't all folks right here on the right, y'all go back there to those comfy chairs. Yes, if y'all go over to the comfy chairs. No, you're good. Well, I tell you what, why don't you come up here? Yeah, no, y'all go to the comfy chair. Come up here. I don't think we can see you from the jacket. All right, so these are our sellers. So these are our sellers. All right, y'all come and go sit down in front of one of your sellers. Okay, just choose one. You'll want to hold your information close up. Don't let your other person see your information. So that means hold your, yeah, come on over here. So hold your information up. Okay, no talking yet. Very important. Hold your information up close to your vest. You do not want the other person to see your information at any point in this negotiation, right? I tell you what, won't y'all slide around so you give some room? Yeah, y'all need to separate a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. You'll sit right here. Yeah, just don't want to be too uncomfortably close. All right? And if somebody wants to, you can come over here on this side too. Tell you what, why don't you slide on over this? Kind of spread out just a tad. My apologies. I want to give y'all some room so that no one hears each other in their ear. You know. All right. So you're holding your information, and we're gonna put a timer. Remember at what we say 9:45. We have a hard stop. So when you get done, if you're finished, so if you make a deal before this time is up, put your paper face down. Don't talk to each other. Just pull out your phone and start looking at something else. But don't discuss this in any way, okay? Tristan. Oh, got a question.
Is the buyer, are they Miss Shaw?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not in your negotiation. I don't know who you're talking to. So but hold your papers up so your partners can't see them. Okay. All right. And I'm gonna turn this thing around here. Maybe people be interested in what we got to say. All right. If you're ready, go ahead and go.
I think it's working more than that for sure. Especially the area, you know, right in town, right here on the university, campus. You know, if y'all really utilize this area for the stadium, I think it'd be worth you guys pulling barrel for it. What's your budget though? I don't think I'm willing to give you less than at least property is absolutely worth the price. It's worth the investment, but none of the house is old. The house has a sentimental value to me. I grew up playing around the area, and I've been operating in, you know, and so it has a lot of sentimental value to me and my other family members. I don't think we would be willing to do anything to invest the house. And I honestly, me and my family were talking, we were thinking at least 250,000 would be great. Really, I guess 200,000 is, sorry, 250, I would say, would be
Extend use of
deal for me and my family to give this up.
That's a sponsorship for someone to sponsor that part. We can get some of that opportunity. We also have this opportunity but we're willing to share that profit with somebody who these are like long-term contracts that we'd be willing to share with you instead of like a direct line. It's just something that's kind of so you would share. Yes. So on it's typically about $2 million. There are other sponsorships that we're willing to share with partners. So there are other opportunities that are seen. We have like special deposits and stuff and contracts involved. So we're expecting
It is an old house, but it was built by my great-great-grandfather who was a part of this county years and years, you know, ago whenever we first established. So to me, that holds a lot of value. It's almost a historical point, even if it still stands, it was clearly built.
So that would be the initial upfront cost. So I just want to be completely transparent.
It's a great carpenter. He built this house very certainly, and so it's held up for 200 years. Who knows how many more will hold up. But
That is one of the So 3%. That is over the course of
The flag, our last name. Yeah.
so you're looking at
Okay. So what are y'all gonna do with the house after you buy the property? Y'all plan on demolishing that house? Oh. That's something I just. I don't know with that. I mean, I grew up in that house. My mom grew up in that house. Her mom grew up in that house. Her father grew up in that house. And the lineage of my family really resides in that house. So for me, it would be worth more, or I would have to see more
say that most are saying
maybe demolished, because that's our
all of this content
it's gonna be. Yes, exactly. I would be,
So we have this garden.
I would be comfortable
We would love to get
with
the
house.
open-minded to ways.
I would say $300,000 per acre,
Obviously, this is just in the planning phase. So 100% set in stone. What Miss Shaw, her favorite things that show up in all stuff. And we'd be so eager to just incorporate that. Where is it
foundation. So the big one, to see that piece of me, it's gonna take me, I'll need to read that, because it is so special to me. It's been sacrifice I felt so respected first, given that you guys have these houses been around for a while, and then it was a big, firm foundation, and started very sturdy. So it's gonna rip me to shreds to see it just after it's stood. So yeah, like I said, I would only be comfortable with selling that to you for $800,000 for each acre, and there's 7 acres. $350 per acre times 7.
So obviously, money is going to be a big part of the stadium, and
Wait, no.
we want you to have as much access to that as possible, and be able to see others enjoy it all the time, and just kind of sit around. So we have these special seats in the room. So really, just so you can attend the games.
Given season tickets, just
We got about 3 minutes left.
it's gonna be my final one. Absolutely. That's the only way I'm going to do it. Thank you very much. That's right, what I do. Sorry.
That's what we do. They just sit down and see.
Yeah, I know.
All right, make your notes, couple of minutes. Okay, we got about 2 more minutes.
Unless I ask.
All right. Okay, if we could get your attention, let's, we could just start up here. Did y'all make a deal?
We did.
You did? What was your deal?
It was, 200,000 for, no, 2 million for the land total and 800,000 for the house, so.
Okay. So, 2 mil for the land, and how much for the house?
800,000.
$800K for the house. Anything else?
Season tickets.
Season tickets that are transferable to my children and their children and their children.
The Lion Kingdom seats, to be specific.
Plus season tickets. Okay, all right. Is that it? Next team?
We did 2.25 million plus the Kingdom seats.
2.25 mil plus kingdom seats.
We didn't do like specifics for the land or house, 'cause we
Okay,
couldn't ever settle on anything.
That
That's-
made my strong suit.
that's all right. Team 3?
Yeah, we got 1,650,000 plus season tickets.
Let's say session, season. Anything else? Nothing else? What'd y'all get? No deal. All right, next team.
2.775 million. And the stadium named
It was really, really bad.
You got the stadium named after you?
It was really bad.
Oh, it should have been.
Okay, hold that. Oh, hold on. Anything else in there? Okay. Jen? We have a deal?
I don't think we got a deal.
No
I
deal.
don't think we got a deal. I should have just said
All right. You're here.
We got 1.5K total plus season tickets, and then a memorial garden for my mom.
1.5 mil
Yes, sir.
plus a what?
Season tickets, and then a memorial garden for the mother. And then I'm gonna donate 10,000 to the football team for 5 years.
Okay, so, and you were the,
And he's gonna donate.
Miss Shaw, or Miss Shaw's family is gonna donate.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so we have something else here. So
50K donation, basically.
so Shaw donates
So basically, I did.
50K back to the school. Okay, and, okay,
We had 2.05 mil, and originally it was the house stays on the property, but that's not really gonna work. So
okay,
plus lifetime box seats for my whole family, and
The stadium's also named.
oh yeah, stadium's named after my family.
stadium's named?
Routes.
You said a house stays? What is it? They can
What was your
say-
deal? What deal did you get?
House was 700K plus, plus residual, income from the garden. It was 15%, it's like 300K, it's like $1 million.
So, okay, so basically $1 million
And
plus
box seats, memorial garden, and a statue.
box seats, memorial, garden with statue. Okay, all right, great. And let's talk to the buyer. Let's talk to the buyer. We gotta do this quick.
Okay.
What was your target?
630K.
All right, 630K. Seller target,
2.5.
2.5 mil. Next, same thing.
Opening.
Yeah, target,
Wait, I'm the buyer. 530K.
530K,
2.5.
2.5.
There you go.
Next, Y'all keep it rolling.
I had 1.3 million.
That's what you started with, or as your target, okay?
I had 2 million.
2 million, pretty close. Yep, buyer, target, 800K. Seller target, 2.5. Next,
960.
960 is the target. Seller, 3.5 mil. Next,
My
Target.
was 1 million.
2.5.
My target was 1
1
million.
million.
1.65 million.
6.5. What was your target?
Target was 800K.
800. And I went with what was in the material at 2.5, basically. All right. What do we notice from these targets? What's interesting?
The buyer's trying to stay low and the seller's trying to go high.
All right. So, well, yeah. What are the differences between these? What do you see here? What's interesting here?
They're all around it.
Yeah, there's a range. So we're looking at a range, and we'll do this. I think we go from,
530.
yeah, so 530 all the way up to 1.3. And what about here? 1.65 to 2.5. And why do you think that 2.5 showed up? That's what it said. And so I was kind of, putting it out there because, there's this thing in our head as a negotiator, we feel like we have to go with that number. You didn't have to go with that number. You could have started, much higher. We'll talk more about that. Yes, sir.
My target was 3.5.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was. You're right. You know why that is, Kobe? It's because you're the man. All right, so we have this range of buyers and sellers, and let's see if there is some type of correspondence. Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not, but is there a correlation between these numbers and these numbers? So who got the most? I think Colby, you got the most. You had a stadium. Sorry, it was right here. 2.7 plus the stadium naming, and then we had 2.05 in the stadium naming. So
I think the top was 2.8.
What about
2.25
maybe?
is.
Yeah, the
Very
top is
top.
2.8
Yeah.
plus season tickets. That's insane.
Season
And a
tickets.
monument, we forgot.
But how much was the stadium naming worth?
Too much.
How much? 25 what?
Million.
25 million. So, stadium naming.
What I was talking about.
That sounds like
$25 million. Let me move this a little. $25 million in value was given away. I won't say given away. It was negotiated away from two players. Okay.
It was a joke. I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. And the thing about a negotiation, right? If you don't negotiate well, the joke's on you, right? So, I told y'all these are, you're either skilled or you're unskilled. That's why we're doing this. So y'all, please have thick skin with us, and we're gonna have some more fun. So you got 27 million on a piece of property that we feel is worth really how much? How much? 1.8. Yeah, maybe 1.8. Somewhere in there is what we feel, maybe the property is worth. But there's a lot of other things going on. So you can see, and this stings a little bit, right? this stings because you're seeing the deals that were cut, and you're either on the low end or you're on the really high end, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, did I really do that? And it's human nature. It's human nature that you will do these things if you're not really paying attention to the world around you. And it doesn't matter if you're going into Lowe's to buy a lawnmower, if you're going to buy an automobile over here at one of these local places, or if you're going to buy a home. These skills are absolutely critical, and if you do not do your diligence and understand, that all of these things are happening in this negotiation and all of these things are at play and the other person's playing you, you're going to pay a whole lot more. Or either you're going to give away something that you shouldn't give away. And this is absolutely critical when you're a salesperson. I'm going to take a break now and put you in that salesperson role. So now let's take it. You're out of school, right? So all of you have a month, 3 months, 4 months left. You're going to jump into a job. You're going out negotiating. You're coming home crying because you can't cut a deal, or either you're starving to death because you can't make deals. And part of that is because you are unskilled. And that's why we're doing these exercises, to let you know that there is a brutal world out there where these other individuals that are sitting across from you are very clever in the way that they handle themselves, and they're going to take you for the $25 million deal. But why? Why are they doing it? Because they can. And because we live in a capitalistic society, and in the College of Business, yay capitalism. That's what we teach. So that's what I want us to really consider. That everything that you do is a negotiation. For the most part. We have 15 minutes. We'll come back to this next time, but I have to move forward now with, help me know what you know about the other person. So we're going to be talking to the buyers. All right, so we're talking to the buyers. Who thinks that they know everything there is to know about this family that's selling? Who thinks you know that? All right, should you know everything about that family?
Yes.
All right, you think you do?
Not everything, I was just gonna go through the.
Yeah, let's go through it real quick, and let me move this. This thing's kind of tied up. Let me do this. Okay, so what do you know about the family?
Obviously, the whole family graduated from UNA.
Okay, all graduated.
I'm pretty sure it's her dad passed down the rest of the land.
Okay, yep. So there's some history there, history with the land. Does anyone know how much history is with this property?
He said that they've had it since like the 1800s.
Okay, yeah, so it's been in the family since the 18 or something like that. Since the early 1800s, this family was here, and they helped actually they helped establish the county. And so, keep coming, you're doing great. What else do you know about it?
Then also, I didn't get from him, but she likes the garden. That's like her.
She loves the garden, yeah. Loves the garden. What else?
He said she passed away.
Yeah, something about the professor graduating.
Yes.
Their grandfather was a
Yeah.
professor.
Okay, so, yeah,
Like
so,
1800s.
very good. All right, don't give any more information. We're talking to buyers. So, professor in the family.
That's all I got.
Okay. And is there anyone who knows anything else about this family?
He told
Any
me that
buyer?
my grandmother passed away.
Grandmother passed away. Okay, so Miss Shaw passed away. When did Miss Shaw pass away?
Like a month ago.
Month ago. Last month. Does any buyer know any more information?
Says she volunteers at the nearby elementary library.
Are you a buyer?
Yeah.
Okay, so you learned that through your,
Oh, from talking
yeah,
to him? Oh, no.
okay. Yeah, we're looking for, as a buyer, did you learn this about the other person? Yes, sir.
Their family's wealthy,
Okay,
so they're not like dying for, to sell the house.
all right, so you learned that there's wealth there. Do you know how they're wealthy? Why they're wealthy?
He said he owned businesses.
The medic
Okay.
business.
Yeah, so self-made medical business, I think. Okay, all right. Is there anything else about the family that you know if you're a buyer?
He has 2 kids, wife and 2 kids.
Okay, so wife and 2 kids. That was made up, by the way.
That's what he had.
That's cool though. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. Did anyone else make anything up? Oh, come on.
Well, like.
Now's the time for salvation. What'd you do?
Whenever I was trying to make a deal, I was trying to get some kind of like royalty off ticket sales.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
that's fine. Yeah. I was just wondering if anybody like told a little lie.
Well, Clayton said that his family goes to her house all the time to hang out, and I didn't know she just died a month ago.
Okay. All right, yeah.
There's
So-
no way they were just in that house. and she
There's no
just-
time on grieving.
So, yeah. So if we could get a seller to read us that family information real quick. Need somebody to read that for us? You got it, Clay?
Me and my husband/wife, Huntsville Mayor Taylor Reed, graduated from university. I never missed a sport event. My husband played football here. I was a cheerleader.
Or vice versa.
I'm a season ticket holder. Let's see what else. What else am I missing?
Yeah, and well, is there anything else about the history of the family? If you could read the family history there.
My great grandfather built the house, became a professor in 1887 after the Civil War. We've been in this county since 1818. My grandmother worked at the library and my mom worked at the elementary school. They lowballed our family the first time.
Lowball the family last house. Did anyone show frustration as a tactic? You did? Okay. So how did it sound?
I just said it's really insulting last
Yeah.
night or whatever.
I did, didn't I? I showed some disgust about it. Yeah. Okay. Why is it? What do you think that information could have done for you as a buyer? If you had known all that family information. In what way? What way does it help?
They didn't want to leave.
Bring the price down.
Yeah, they don't need millions of dollars.
Yeah. So the trick is it's questions. So many times in a negotiation we get all ramped up, and you know we study this thing in our text about negotiables, and everyone's focused on that almighty dollar, and it never really was about the money, right? So we're independently wealthy. What was there? I think there was a note in there. We don't need the money. Right? This was personal, and so it's obvious that some people were really clever at getting more for their position. I mean, 25 million is huge, and it doesn't matter. Don't feel bad. I mean, in the thousands of people who come through a negotiation class, you're always going to have the extreme levels. And the reason you have the extreme levels is because people don't know what they don't know. So, these are learning opportunities, and I really appreciate everyone, being a good sport. I guess if I could say being a good sport. But if you know or had known all of this information, there was certainly that sympathy, that emotion that would have come into play, and you could have used that a little bit more. Normally with this type of negotiation, I would have give a heads up to the people that are selling and say, hey, if they position, one of these memorials, then soften your heart a lot, because that's really what you're trying to get to. If you don't need the money, the school treated you terribly last time, what you're looking for is a little bit of redemption, and you're really looking for someone to respect your family, because they've been here for generations, and now it's just like you feel like someone's coming in here and they want to uproot you and take your stuff and then not pay you anything for it. But this is what's so important. And anytime you're in a negotiation, usually there is some type of personal attachment somewhere. So there's usually a personal attachment somewhere. It's your responsibility to find it by asking questions. So a number one rule in a negotiation is slow your roll, right? Move your ego out of the way. Bring humility, which is your best friend, and then have a conversation. One of the things you study in your sales visit is that rapport is one of the first things that you do in your sales visit. So I'm going to ask, who had some rapport? What was your rapport like? Y'all tell us. What was your rapport?
We talked about playing in the snow.
Okay, so you played in the snow. All right. Did any of that lead to understanding about the family?
I was a fan.
You were a family. Did any of it lead to,
I mean, a little bit, I guess, about the family.
or the deal itself?
I just want the family.
Okay. Danger of rapport. If rapport doesn't have a purpose to take you somewhere into this transition to the business, you might want to rethink the rapport that you're building. Now, hey, snow. Hey, I know your family's been here a long time. Have y'all seen big snows like this or past, or did your grandmother ever talk about big snows at the university? I noticed there's a big hill there. Did you ever used to slide down there? By the way, we used to when I was here, back behind, back over there behind Mitchell Hollingsworth. It was the sled capital. There's races and that really happened, by the way. Little history for you, but just keep in mind, and we're cutting close on time, that building a rapport should have a purpose. Asking questions to understand the other side is always critical. Manage your information so that you're not giving away a lot of material. One of the things that we were supposed to do is we were supposed to make trades. And we'll get into this quite a bit next time. We're not going to dig deep into it, but you were supposed to prepare maybe what you give and what you get, and that was driving you to your target. And you had a plan going into this, and some of you went with a plan somehow to give a lot of money, a lot of opportunity away. Yes, I keep harping on it. It stings, doesn't it? It's just like
Even listed on there.
it's just like a yellow jacket. It's like a yellow jacket sting. They just keep coming. But yeah, some of us didn't stick to our plan. Some of you in the negotiation went somewhere where you shouldn't have. Right? And it's because you got caught up in the moment. You wanted to make a deal, and you let the other person do that to you. And so what I want us to do is really consider you're going to plan your negotiation. That happens before you get there, right? That happens before you get there. And you want to be cordial, but these people are not your friends. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But in a negotiation, you're there to get what you need from the negotiation. It is a plan of action. It is a field that you're going to, I don't want to say battle, but it is a field that you're walking into, and you know that there are these competitive and there's these collaborative pieces that are going to take place so that you can ultimately get to the deal. So if you read your material, you saw that as you go down this field and you're playing ball, ever how you can imagine it in your mind, in order to win, you've got to make some tactical moves. And that comes with, what are you going to offer? What are you going to get from it? What are these trades you're going to make? How do you go about making these trades? And that's what we're going to get into next time to try to bring negotiations to a close, is what is a process that I should take in order to get to this point of making a decent trade for my organization. Because if you haphazardly go out there, then you're getting knocked in the dirt by giving away $27 million. 27. But it hurts. I know it does. But no, it's fun in here to do that, but also it hurts for the individuals that got played, right? Get stings, right? Hurts. It should hurt. That's okay. We're in a sales class. It's all right. The other thing is, those people who started low, you usually always see that the favor will be on their side. If you're a seller and you start high, usually you're going to make a higher deal. If you're a buyer and you start low, well, you can never go back, and that's where this opening is. We'll get to this later. We don't have time today, but we're going to get to this whole thing of where did you start. We got our targets; they're over here, but something was going on with where I said I would open and what I was willing to take. And did I have this willing to take way outside the range of rationale for my firm? Sound good? What questions do you have? Yes, sir.
I didn't really understand the naming opportunities, like how so we would have been selling them 25 million, or no, we've been buying 25. How does that work?
Yeah, for naming opportunities, that was a good question. We could have addressed that. Naming opportunities, like this is the Sanders College of Business and Technology. And the reason it's the Sanders College of Business and Technology is because the Sanders family so graciously donated funds to the university to go to students in business and technology. So for that, the university has this level. If you give this much money as a family, then we'll name that building after you. And so for the new stadium that we have, it's going to be the Bank Independent Stadium, right? So it's going to be the Bank Independent Stadium, and because the family for Bank Independent so graciously donated funds to help build the stadium that's to come, and these naming opportunities. So you're going to see much more about naming of facilities, around UNA in the coming months. But there's a lot going on with the stadium, and I know you're seeing that in the news. It's a good question. What other questions do we have? Did anyone notice the VP of advancement in there? Like you're a friend, if you're selling the property, you're a friend to the VP of advancement, you could call that person. And then also if you were representing buying it, the VP of advancement was trying to give you a little heads up. That was me putting that in there, that if you wanted to phone a friend, you had that opportunity, but nobody asked for it. And what I would have told you is, ultimately what we would have liked to have seen is, because the family doesn't need the money, instead of you paying the family, you actually convince the family to give more to the university and name, so you get the deal for zero. That's what we'd really like to see. So you get the deal for zero, and then you give, maybe you give it whatever it's worth, $2.5 million deal, naming deal, or garden, something like that. Who feels good about their role play? Yeah, you should. You should feel good about your role play. Thumbs up. Worth doing? Worth doing. Okay. If you're like on the extremes of these, don't feel bad about this. You got plenty of other opportunities that we'll have in class this semester to get redemption. There's always someone that's on the high end, because somebody's got to be on the high end. And as I say with all the classes, you got to look around the room. If you're in a sales organization, are you the least best person in the room? Are you the least best person on the team? And if you are, you probably know it. And what are you going to do to not be that person? So that means you're going to study hard, you practice, and all those kinds of things. But everyone needs to know where you stand on the team, right? And there's always that person on the team that you're going, "Man, that person's really got it together. I'm going to emulate a lot of the things that that person's doing," you know, or either I'm going to hang with that person because the least best over here are not about the people's business. And that's the same thing in business. If you show up at your work, you hang with least best, and it's negative, and you're making bad deals, so you don't want to be there. You want to quickly move to those individuals that are making things happen. You know, so that's what I'm going to leave you with. Go out there and hang with good people. Yeah, if you would leave those papers, I don't want those to get out. Leave those papers, and you put your names on them, right? So I just want to get a good glance at what I'm dealing with. Don't take your papers. Don't take your papers. Hey, thanks for playing.